Bit when identical scores in the 4-year-old non-pro had him square off in a sudden death work-off. An historic first here. It was father against son, and Dad prevailed.
It was kind of a hollow victory, and we would have preferred to have stayed co-champions, and we requested that the show management let us do that, and they said no, nothing doing, so they made us compete.
He absolutely won the work-off, and I figured even after he did lose his cow, then that he would still go ahead and win.
When he lost that cow, I felt for him. I felt really bad for him. And then when I lost the cow, I felt bad for myself.
It's been a long year for Kyle, who lost in that dramatic work-off here at the Futurity. And to hear him tell it, Dad has taken full advantage of the family bragging rights.
All year long. Absolutely, all year long.
He's been ribbing you and ragging you about it.
Yes, sir. Every day.
There's more ribbing in store for the youngster. Dad outdid son again last night aboard SPL Altissimo. Tommy was second in the 5- and 6-year-old non-pro, Kyle third with smart Peppy Coyote. Sounds to me like the family will survive. What has your father meant in your career as a cutter?
Everything. He's taught me how to ride ever since I was a little kid. Whenever we got involved in the cutting horses, I learned everything from him. And we're a team. He helps me, and I help him, and we have a lot of fun together.
Well, we've heard from the gentleman, the father and son team from Texas. Now let's get the ladies' point of view. Here's the family affair story from Estill, South Carolina.
One of the area families making the most noise at the 1996 Futurity is the Elliott family from Estill, South Carolina. 19-year-old Elizabeth won the $5,000 amateur.
My first cow I cut was a real tough cow. She was a good cow, but she didn't want to turn away from me, and I was scared for a long time that she wasn't going to turn away. She finally did, and I got off, and then my second cow was just as good as my first one.
As you can imagine, Elizabeth's mom was very pleased.
I was very excited. She tried several years to win it up here, and this was her last chance to try to win it.
The Elliots were first bitten by the Futurity bug after a trip to Augusta.
I had a friend who is a blacksmith in the area, and he had tickets to this several years ago and invited us to come up. We came up and watched and started from there.
She came to the Augusta Futurity and saw the cutting here, and then decided she wanted to start doing it. And I had ridden hunter jumpers. We went down to Hilton Head, and I rode a cutting horse, and I knew that I'd never want to ride the hunter jumpers anymore. It's addictive. I love it.
In an age when many teenagers lock horns with their parents on just about every issue, the Elliots are a refreshing change.
My mom's my best friend. She really is. And we spent a lot of time together, and sometimes we get on each other's nerves, but most of the time I'm happy to talk to her about things that have gone on, and she talks to me. We're each other's best friends, I think.
So who knows, perhaps folks that are in the stands at the Civic Center tonight watching finals night will be here in another year or two competing themselves. A family affair from the men's side and from the ladies' side. Paul, back to you.
Ted, thank you very much. And you love in the 90s to hear moms and dads, moms and daughters, dads and sons talk about their relationship being close. And one of the special aspects of this sport is that it brings, and we've seen two examples of that tonight, it brings two families even closer. I have a piece of videotape that I was here last night and got a chance to film with the camera, something that really intrigued me, and I would suggest to you, Tony, that we have not seen a run tonight, and you can beg to differ, a run like we saw last night. We're going to show you. Okay, we're going to show you Guy Woods aboard Maritas DJ last night. Notice the footwork, Tony.
Well, he had this cow trapped in the middle of the pen, and he made an outstanding run. His score didn't quite reflect what I would have scored him, but I'm not one of the judges here this year.
Well, I want the folks at home to pay attention. That footwork to me looks especially quick.
Oh, it is. It is. Guy is known to train his horses with a lot of movement, so you're going to see that. He'll be showing a horse here tonight that's certainly one of the crowd favorites, Laker Doc.
All right, that's last night action, and now we're going to fast forward and take you to a live picture of Commander's Legacy. We are into the second bunch, the final open division tonight, the 4-year-olds, and this is Scott Brewer, a 37-year-old star, $130,000 plus earnings in his career. He's from Benton Valley, or Bentonville, Arkansas, is Scott. And Scott cutting his first cow, Tony.
That's right. This is a horse that made the Futurity finals and wound up splitting a 4th and a 5th at the Big Futurity in Fort Worth, which has been deemed the world's richest indoor horse event. He's made the finals here, and he's having a nice run. He started very well here.
217 is the mark to beat to be a champion in the 4-year-old Open.
Nice quiet run. He released from his first cow. Now he's going to go back and cut his second. As you can see, he's going to enter the herd. He wants to try to be as quiet as possible. When you're first in a group of cattle, such as Scott is on Commander's Legacy, you want to try to clear the herd and get a little further away from them than normal, because the cattle have not quite gotten accustomed to having a horse moving back and forth in front of them, and you don't want to cause any extra movement and flush cows from behind you.
This is a fresh herd. They were brought in. That's why we had the long timeout. These are fresh cattle, have not been worked, in theory, ever in an arena like this.
That's correct. These cattle are all fresh. A lot of the riders have selected cattle. Some of the riders, when they're early in a group of cattle such as this, they'll cut what is termed shape. And that's when they drive a group of cattle up and they just try to select the cow that is the most willing to allow them to cut, that'll stand in the middle of the arena and so they can show the horse.
Again, this is Commander's Legacy, the horse owned by James Hooper. Scott Brewer in the saddle.
Once again, good utilization of clock management here by Scott, cutting his third cow. He was able to get a good work on this third cow. I don't think this score is going to put him in the lead, but it will get him in there in the money pretty well.
You mentioned the lead. Right now, the guy that works with you, Troy Riddle, aboard Smart Play Lena in the catbird seat, and Ted standing by line with him. Well, he will be momentarily. There's your 210. And so I'm wondering if the judges now are looking and saying to themselves, well, we've got 7 left, a 217. They know that 217, Tony, is the best score they've given out so far. That's a far cry from a 223, 224, 225. I don't see 217 winning it tonight.
Unfortunately, since it's my horse in a 217, I don't think it will either. We're anticipating some higher scores, but as a judge, you have to mark those runs as they come, and so far 217's been the top run. As I said earlier, you utilize a thermometer theory in regards to scoring, and you just saw a 210, so that would be a 70 from 3 judges. So he went down, and that was pretty much just an average run.
Are you telling me that judges have no memory? Each and every show with each and every different horse is new to them. They don't think about 2 rides ago, 3 rides ago, the first bunch, etc. You can't be thinking about what you've already established as your benchmark and work around that. You take every ride in and of itself.
Well, you do anticipate the good horses that you expect that they're going to have a good run.
Okay.
But you cannot wait for that horse to perform thinking that in your mind that's going to be your winner. Anything can happen. There are too many variables. You have the contestant, the horse that he's riding, the 4 individuals that are helping them, and then you've got the biggest variable, and that's 45 head of cattle in the end of the arena. Anything can happen.
We're looking at Moonlight and Bay. That's Moonlight and Bay with Matt Gaines, who I understand is young. Matt's only 27. Owner of the horse is Charles Spence, and Moonlight and Bay put up a 216, a 218, and a 216.
Matt has consistently been in the finals on this horse of all the events that he's participated in since the Big Futurity. He's one of the top young trainers. Oops, and his
all
horse
right, explain that to me. Oops, what?
Well, that is his horse actually quit. His horse released from the cow, and
the cow wasn't ready to be released.
Well, no, his horse quit. His horse just all of a sudden just darted away. That's one of the things about these 4-year-olds. They're still considered youngsters, and almost anything can happen with them.
So a rookie mistake, if you will, when you consider that the 5- and the 6-year-olds of the class.
Exactly. Now what Matt's going to want to do here is he's just going to want to bring his horse back and settle this horse in behind a cow and make sure that he doesn't allow this horse to make any more mistakes throughout this run.
Can he save the show?
No, there's no way that Matt can place in the top 10 at this point. That was a major penalty. That was
the deduction is how many points?
That was a 5-point penalty from each judge.
Oh boy. And again, 5 judges, high and low score thrown out, and then they take the 3.
As you can see, this is an outstanding young horse. I'm sure Matt's as surprised as anyone. As many times as I've seen this horse show this year, that's the first time that I've seen this horse even threaten to do anything like that.
I keep hearing, we brought it up earlier, I heard it from Bill Freeman, who is a major leaguer in this sport, how hard, how difficult this arena is to show in. And so, Matt's working with that aspect. And there's the buzzer. Actually, the horn in the case of the cutting.
And as I said for Matt, what was most important after that occurred was that he suddenly go ahead and show his horse without allowing him to make any more additional mistakes.
And you're right, a 189 is nothing to brag about, especially when you've come this far. And that's another point. They've worked so hard, Tony, all week. They had the first and the second go, and then the semis?
That's correct.
And then the final tonight?
That's a lot of goes on these horses, and then some of the horses that you'll see this evening not only show here in the open finals, but there were 3 horses that participated in the non-professional finals. So they've done double duty all throughout the week. The next horse that's about to show, Play Gun, was the non-professional champion, ridden by Dick Pieper, and now he's coming right back in the open, ridden by the trainer, Jody Gallion.
I imagine Troy Riddle is shaking in his boots. Ted, is he?
He's not shaking at all. He's proud of Smart Play Lena's 217 in the first go-round and only go-round. Tell me about your run.
Well, actually it was pretty breathtaking. I was pretty tense going in there because the cows were terrible. I mean, everybody was doing, bad and getting run over and things. I just went in there and we had a few cows on mind, and actually I only cut 2 of the 3 I had in mind because one of them was not going to stop for me. So, I've just hung on tight and kicked hard. My horse was really good, and he held some tough cows. I'm real proud of him.
Troy Riddle currently in first place with a 217. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you, Troy.
All righty, thank you.
Let's go back up to Paul Davis and the owner of Smart Play Lena, Tony Langdon.
I wish that Troy could see his, his cohort, his employer in a way. Tony, up here, you're laughing through that entire interview.
He's such a great guy. He's done a tremendous job with our horse, and we've had a lot of fun so far, and there's a lot more fun to come.
Interesting situation here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. We're looking at Play Gun. Play Gun, owned by Dick Pieper. Already this horse a champion in the non-pro 4-year-old division.
Right. And now he's being ridden by the trainer, Jody Gallion.
Does it help that Play Gun has already worked cattle tonight in this building?
Possibly, but these horses have had several goes here throughout the week. I don't know that that's going to be an advantage. Sometimes that can work against you.
So they've taken care of the heebie-jeebies.
When horses are doing double duty.
Already a champion.
Hung up in the ground a little bit there, and actually, as exciting as that appeared, that was not a desirable move.
So on the one hand, folks at home, you can be influenced by the sound of the crowd. On the other hand, you're hearing what an actual judge sees in a ride. Again,
Jody needs to make another quiet cut here and try to keep his cuts and his quits in the middle of the arena, and try to maintain his working advantage in the middle of the arena, especially on this horse. That's where he's most exciting, is when he has a cattle trapped in the middle of the pen. What an exciting move there. Oh, great cow. Certainly a crowd favorite here. He's so pretty. It's one of the prettier horses that's being shown this year, and he has such an outstanding style.
That had to be the largest charge of energy we've had here tonight.
Certainly. So the cattle have not allowed some of the better horses to actually perform to their maximum.
20 seconds, 15 seconds left to work. It would be nice to work one more animal.
Jody needs to try to finish up really in the middle of the pen here, and I think that's what he's going to get done.
Yeah, that's what the fans say here.
Tremendous run. I think we have a new leader.
This will be interesting to see. Play Gun, owned by Dick Pieper, already a champion tonight in the 4-year-old non-pro division, trying to do double duty and double kudos. We're waiting for the score, and this could be the turning point of this competition. The open division, 4-year-old.
There it is.
21. And here comes a replay now, Tony.
What an outstanding run. He maintained the cattle in the middle of the arena throughout the run for the most part. A lot of action here. Jody's really allowing his horse to read the cow and just move to where the cow is in the middle of the pen. Great run.
A 2:21, and we have a new leader. Play Gun, looking for the two-peat tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. The best is yet to come. Paul Davis, along with Tony and Ted from the Civic Center. Stay tuned. We're coming back.
By Bill Riddle from Rinkling.
For most of us, there's an easier way to get into the Olympic Games. It's Olympic Gold from the Georgia Lottery. You could instantly win pairs of tickets to Centennial, Olympic Gold Medal, and preliminary events, or up to $50,000. So play Olympic Gold. Or take your chances.
You are back live with the greatest cutting horse show, horse cutting show east of the Mississippi. In its 17th year, I'm Paul Davis with Channel 12, and Tony Langton is here, and he's kind of in a precarious situation. He owns a horse that was in front for many, many of the shows and has just been supplanted by a horse that's already showed us some greatness tonight, Play Gun. Tony, how you feeling?
Oh, so dejected. I didn't expect 217 to hold up throughout the evening. There are too many good horses here.
Speaking of which, BR Hold Everything, now to perform, owned by Mr. MD and Sherry Babcock. Mr. Babcock was our color analyst a year ago. In the saddle, Bill Riddle. Interesting story here. I understand he raised BR Hold Everything.
That's correct. This is out of one of the great show mares that Bill and his wife have owned for years, and he sold this horse to D. Babcock, and this is the third and the final horse that'll work this evening that was both in the open and the non-pro division, where D marked a 214.5 this evening.
So double duty for BR Hold Everything with Bill Riddle. Bill Riddle partial to this horse, knows this horse. And the first cut is looking fairly well to me.
Bill's a past champion here in Augusta, so you can always count on these guys that are the professionals that have the knowledge of this arena and the knowledge of the cattle that are here to step up on finals night.
221 is now the mark to beat. 217 is holding down second place. A number of there's a 214, which would be third, flashing some cash.
Bill's having a nice run, but I don't expect that he's getting enough done right at this time to overtake Play Gun.
I guess Bill would be father of Troy, huh?
Actually, it's his uncle.
Wow.
such a family affair with some of the trainers. Now when Troy has stepped up as one of the young trainers, it's very interesting to see how his uncles and his father react to his success. It's been interesting.
19, 18, 17 seconds, cutting the third cow.
Excellent clock management here by Bill. He's trying to get the most out of the 2.5 minutes for his horse. He's going to finish up, but I don't think that I certainly don't think that he'll overtake Play Gun. And at this point in time, I don't think that he's going to move into second. I think he's going to fall in about third or fourth at this point in the cutting.
That was BR Hold Everything with Bill Riddle, uncle of Troy, at 2:15.5.
That moves him into third place.
Spoken like a true judge. I'm sorry, you don't pay attention to placement along the line, do you? We've got 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go. And here again is the replay.
Bill did have a nice run. It was a little soft. Certainly not nearly the action that you saw with Play Gun, thus a lesser score.
Now, is that a bad cow work good? Or is that a good cow work bad?
Well, actually, he did get the movement from the cow that was allowing him to send his horse across the arena, and she is a pretty stopping horse, so that was in her favor, that she was able to cut a cow that would take her back and forth across the arena, allowing that horse to make those long, pretty stops.
But you don't want a horse to really take you the full lateral distance of the arena.
Well, you want to be in control of the run and not the cow taking advantage of you and your horse.
This is Haydas Pro. Haydas Pro, a 2:14, a 2:16.5, a 2:16.5, not bad scores at all. Owned by Robert Stang, ridden tonight, shown tonight. That's how you say it. Michael Graham. He was in the finals a year ago here in Augusta. Michael Graham.
I saw Michael last evening after he found out that he made the finals here. He was pretty excited. I don't think that Michael's been involved in too many of the finals of some of the major events, so this, I'm sure, is an exciting moment for him.
I've noticed, Tony, a lot of the names have similar, a lot of Haydases here and other play on words that seem to. Now that's kind of a problem because.
Well, when the cow releases so far away from you and they start back towards your horse, almost anything can happen. In essence, when you're showing your horse to draw a parity, it would be similar to a basketball player guarding another player to keep him away from the goal. Well, when a cow is able to take a running start at you, it makes it more difficult to read that cow when he's coming from the judges' stands at a pretty quick pace, now, which was what happened to him.
When you choose a cow to work, what you try to do is get one that's not too rambunctious, but you don't want a lazy bum either.
Well, it kind of depends on the horse that you're showing. If you have a horse that does things that are really fancy in the middle of the arena, you want to cut a cow that's not going to have a lot of movement to him. If you have a horse that is a big stopper, he likes to run and stop, and that's his strong suit, well, then you want a cow that's going to have more movement to it so that you're able to send that horse back and forth across the arena, and the judges will be able to see those big, hard stops. Ideally, you'd like to have a horse that has all that incorporated all at once, so they can handle any type of cattle, and you're able to produce a good run regardless of the cattle that you cut.
All right, so far, Play Gun in first place now, and I understand Ted has the individual who did a very good job aboard that horse, Ted.
Thank you, Paul. It's Jody Gallion who rode Play Gun to a 2:21 and into first place in the Futurity Open. Tell me about the run.
Well, it was just a really great run. The cows were trying him really hard, and we had to do some hard stuff. Yet he got to do a couple of these real pretty things and everything like that also. They just announced it to 222 on the scoreboard and stuff. So it was just, he one time just right there where they just saw, he just leaped in that ground and then had to leap straight up to get up out of there. It was incredible, some of the things and some of the moves that he did tonight.
You can see the look on his eyes, and he was just right on it tonight.
Yes, he was on it for the non-pro, and he was on it. He was ready tonight.
The non-pro champion sits in the catbird seat, if you will, in the Futurity Open at this point with a 222. Jody, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Well, thanks. We got a great horse in that Pep de Boomsmo. It's the last horse tonight. Nothing's over with till he goes. Gary's a great showman, and that's a great horse. And there's another horse, Coop, that can sure enough beat us too. It's just a matter of luck, but I'm proud of my horse, and thank God for everything that he's given me tonight.
Good job this week.
Thank you.
Jody Gallion, who sits in first place with a 222, but as he said, we've still got some big names, big horses coming up, Paul.
And as he said also, Tony, his score was upgraded. Explain that to the audience.
Well,
he marked it
obviously
221. They upgraded to 222.
That possibly could have been a computer error when they were tabulating the scores, or they may have looked at his run at some point in time and determined that there was a change that was supposed to be made. But I would say that was probably just a mere computer error.
Now, they're filming in there, right? Do they do videotape replay much?
That's correct. But they're only able to watch that after this group of cattle. So I would say that was a computer error. Now, if his score does hold up and he is able to win the championship here tonight, this will be Augusta history in regards to the Futurity, because there's never been a champion, a horse that was a champion in both the non-pro and the open on the same evening.
Okay. Quite a feat. Now we're looking at Laker Dock. Laker Dock, owned by EE Ranches, Inc., Guy Woods. And this is one of the fellows we showed you earlier. Born in Australia is Guy.
This is one of the crowd favorites all week. You'll see that he has a lot of movement with his front legs, and the crowd just goes wild over this.
I love it. And earlier in the broadcast, we showed you a show last night aboard another horse, and it's that same fast footwork.
Right, and that was Guy on one of his other horses, one of his older horses. This particular horse, as we spoke of a few minutes ago in regards to cattle, this is a horse that Guy is going to want to show this horse's strong suit. So he's going to make an attempt to cut cattle that he'll be able to hold very close in the center of the pen, that don't have a lot of movement, so that his horse can break at the knees and get really low and show some of those exciting moves that he's doing right now. Guy has done an outstanding job of cutting the cattle that'll best show this horse's ability off.
Are you seeing this, folks at home? Are you seeing the way that this horse is like, it's almost like he's challenging that cow.
Correct. As you can see, the crowd loves this horse. Oh,
no.
Disaster can happen at any moment.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Disaster can strike at any time.
And he's disgusted.
Oh,
look at Guy.
I think disappointment would be a better word to describe this. It happened so quick. I don't know that I can even recall what took place.
But again, letting the cow get back to the herd is the worst thing you can have happen to you.
That's correct.
Oh gosh. Well, that's why it's a sport, and that's why we come out here and televise it.
As I said, there's so many variables, and that's why you cannot bet on the come regarding judging horses here this evening.
Certainly a crowd favorite, wouldn't you say? Certainly a crowd favorite.
What a disappointment for Guy.
Laker Dock looking awful good. We thought would most certainly put up a pretty good mark. And then on the second cow, I guess it was the second cow?
That's correct. He had him in the middle of the pen, and then all of a sudden, with the blink of an eye, he was in the corner and he lost the cow. It was amazing.
That's happened to you. You've been there.
Oh, been there, done that.
you have to put it out of your mind and finish off the performance.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so we've got 201 when that figures. Of course, the judges can't ever look the other way and say, I didn't see that back fence.
Right. That was mere disaster in the corner.
Here it is. Not quite sure where we have it in the sequence. But
I think this was maybe his first cow. I think he cut a second cow. White cow is his second cow.
Yeah, this is the first cow, which he did extremely well with. Laker Dock, I love you.
It would have been interesting had he completed that run to see what the judges were going to do with it in regard to Play Gun and his leading score.
You mentioned the fact that last couple of years they established the 5- and the 6-year-old classic class. So the great thing about Laker Doc, a 4-year-old next year, not eligible for this competition, but could most certainly be seen in the 5- and 6-year-old and a chance for redemption.
I'm sure that he'll be back next year. He's a tremendous horse. He's got a lot of 4-year-old events that are ahead of him this year, and certainly somewhere along the way, Guy's going to win a championship with that horse.
All right, we're looking at the next to the last contestant tonight, Play My Dream, owned by Jack and Deborah. First, Play My Dream put up a 2:17, a 2:14, and a 2:13.5. John Wold, you saw the graphic in the saddle. John hails from Kaufman, Texas. Never been there.
John's one of the top competitors in weekend competition. He is currently 8th in the World Championship, and he's headed for the finals in Houston this year on another horse that he's shown so successfully throughout the year, Black Little Lena. Little miss there. He got a little too far, and that allowed the cow to escape from him. Another one the same way. Oh,
there it
is.
Just a
little too much trouble there for John on that particular cow.
I imagine you know in the middle of a ride, Tony, when you've bit off more than your horse can chew. Or do you?
Well, what happens usually is in John's case, it was a mistake one way, and then he tried to compensate, and he overcompensated. And then it was a mistake going, he had a little problem going back the other way, and he had to try to compensate for that, and then it was too late. Cow has the advantage at that point in time.
And we're hearing that the rider does not, like any other athlete, focuses out the crowd noise for the most part.
Well, sometimes I feel like I don't breathe when I'm down there for 2.5 minutes. There's a lot that you're trying to think about, and you can't just map out your run before you go down there. There's so many things that change the flow of your run. Whether you stay on your first cow, it's an indeterminate amount of time. If everything is going good, you want to stay and try to get the most out of the cow that you can. If you have a bad first cow, you want to release from that cow and go on to the next cow. Here again, with some of the problems that some of the riders have had this evening, John's doing the same thing. He's just trying to let his horse settle in and work a cow on his own and try to be as relaxed as possible so that he can look forward to the next time that he's able to show this horse in one of the major events this year.
Thank you.
That was unfortunate. It appeared that the cow had the advantage of John on that particular run. And it's going to lead to a score that is going to be down in the rankings.
Well, we've arrived at the moment that a lot of folks, when did they establish the draw for tonight, Tony? Was it yesterday afternoon?
The draw was held immediately following the semifinals, which was on Thursday evening.
Okay. Ever since Thursday evening, we've known that Pepto Boonsmall was last to perform this year. Gary Belenfant, I saw an interview with Gary. He's an interesting man. We're going to talk more about that interesting man. There's your 194. Your 194 for Play My Dream. You're not dreaming. You've got live coverage of the 17th annual Augusta Futurity, and we've got the exciting climax coming up after this.
Pepto Boonsmall is owned by...
Make plans now to join WRDW-TV for Bridal Fair 1996 on February 17th at the Augusta Richmond County Civic Center. J.B. White will again present a showcase of beautiful wedding and trousseau fashions. Visit with local merchants. Register to win fabulous door prizes and a vacation for two to Orlando, Florida. Showtimes are 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Register at Mitchell's Formal Wear in the Augusta Mall or the Telfair Inn.
Price is very important at Gerald Jones Honda. We're always going to give you a good price along with the best service in the CSRA. Here's a good price for only $15,990 or just $223 a month. You can own the 25th anniversary Accord sedan, the car that took 25 years to build. Folks, come see us today at Gerald Jones Honda, your CSRA Honda dealer for over 20 years. It's Honda time.
overstocked warehouse sale. Smartway Furniture's warehouse is bursting at the seams, and we're offering sacrifice prices.
Daryl Smart says it's got to go. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars of quality furniture that must be sold now. Take advantage of huge savings on Lane Motion Furniture and solid wood Sumter cabinet furniture. We'll make you the best deal ever.
If you need furniture, do it the smart way. It's got to go.
Shop Smartway today and save big. Smartway Furniture's Southgate.
This is a live picture of the final show tonight. Pepto Boone's Mall with Gary Belenfant. So far, a minute 15 seconds in. Tony, what do you think?
Well, he did have, unfortunately, we were not able to see this. We're going to come back and pick it up for the viewers on replay, but his first cow, he did have a miss, and I don't think he's going to be able to overtake Playgun at this time. This is an outstanding horse. He's one of the strongest, most physical, mature 4-year-olds I think I've ever seen. He's going to be a tremendous stallion in the future. This is one of the great horses possibly of all time. He's having a tough time right here tonight. Drawing up last and the cattle is really tough.
Listen to the previous marks this week for this horse, 223.5. Let me say that again. 223.5, and that's it. There's the back fence, and the crowd starting to get up.
Right.
But a great week, a 218, a 226 from this horse, which is percentage points away from the highest ride ever here.
The 226.5 that Gary scored in the semifinals to win the semifinals on Thursday evening was the second highest score in Augusta history.
Well, I think it's going to be awfully easy to recap this on the news tonight. A 197 for the horse that a lot of folks felt like, even though sitting in the last and the most undesirable position, unable to pull off the magic. Pepto Boone's Mall will finish way back in the pack. We're going to come back and have plenty more to talk about before we take you right up to 11 o'clock tonight. Stay tuned, everybody. We're coming back from the Civic Center.
If your chances of getting into the Olympic Games aren't looking so good, try playing Olympic Gold from the Georgia Lottery. You could instantly win pairs of tickets to Centennial Olympic Gold Medal and preliminary events, or up to $50,000. So play Olympic Gold, and who knows where you'll wind up.
Experience 3 rings of fun, suspense, and excitement at the 125th anniversary celebration of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Now, all kids under 12 can save $2 on tickets to the Wednesday, February 7th 4 o'clock performance with coupons from Subway. Courtesy of Channel 12, your 24-hour news source, and Subway. Buy tickets at the box office and all Ticketmaster outlets, or call 828-7700 to charge by phone. Join the action at the greatest show on earth, playing Augusta Civic Center February 6th and 7th.
The 95 Integra closeout is going on now at Acura of Augusta. Choose from more than 40 Integras with 0 down or 6.9% financing. Or with $2,200 cash back, your new Integra can start as low as $13,462. Come to Acura of Augusta and test drive a new Acura Integra today while the selection is best. It's our huge 95 Integra closeout going on now at Acura of Augusta.
Picture you and your family in your very own Fleetwood Dream Home for less than you're paying for rent. America's largest home builder, Fleetwood Homes. The sign of quality, value, and customer satisfaction. Discover the reason why 9 out of 10 buyers have named Fleetwood Homes the customer's choice. You can own your very own dream home from Fleetwood Homes for less than you're paying for rent. Look for the signs you can trust at America's largest home builder, Fleetwood Homes. The only places you can see your new Fleetwood Dream Home.
Good evening, everybody. We are live back at the Augusta Richmond County Civic Center, where the 17th annual Augusta Futurity has just crowned its Futurity Open champion, and he's right here. Jody Gallion aboard Playgun. The 222 holds up. congratulations, you're Futurity Open champion.
Thank you very much. It's a great thrill to win in this town. The fans here are just fabulous, and here in Fort Worth at the Futurity, to me, are the two favorite places to show in the world, and we just love coming down here every year, and worked out great this year.
Most important thing for today is the daily double, I guess, the non-pro and the Open champion for Playgun. Tell me about this horse.
Well, Playgun is just an incredible athlete. He has lots of intensity and a super strong horse. Just like right there, he can do all that fancy stuff and then just run, get on his butt, and do some great things. And he's just an incredible horse. I'm the one that was along for the ride. He's the one that did all the work.
What are you thinking when you're watching your run right now?
I think that right there, that was a great, great cow, and that was what we call a credit situation. That horse was just doing some fabulous things that you just get fortunate enough to have a horse every once in a while that can do those things.
Non-experts would sit there and say, hold it, the horse won the non-pro. It's got to be exhausted going into the Open. Obviously not Playgun.
Well, no, I tell you, the really neat thing about him is I showed in the semifinals the other night, and we didn't even work him. Normally you go out and practice these horses and do that, and we didn't even practice him till tonight and show night. We trusted him enough and felt confident enough in him for to do that, and it was taking a big chance doing that, but it worked out.
Before you piled into the trucks and headed from Ardmore, Oklahoma, east to Augusta, Georgia, did you think this might be a special week for your team?
Well, you never know. We know this is a special horse. He's one of the greatest horses I've ever had the opportunity to ride and show, and so when you've got one like that, then it's just a matter of getting the breaks and good Lord watching after you and giving you some luck.
You had to see Laker Doc go up there with Guy Woods up. What a run they had until they lost the cow late.
Yes, sir. That's the sad part about this game. That's a great horse also, and Guy had him ready tonight, and it happens to all of us. It's just some things that goes along with cutting. That's the part that I was talking about, the luck that's involved. Sometimes you just have to be lucky a little bit also.
He's from Ardmore, Oklahoma, and he is the 1996 Augusta Futurity Open champion. It's Jody Gallion aboard Playgun. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And Augusta, thank you, fans. Y'all are wonderful.
Here's your champion, Augusta. Let's go back to Paul.
Ted, thank you very much. So, again, double duty for Playgun. Jody Gallion's got to be on Cloud 9 tonight. We're going to talk more about some of the great things that have happened this week. We're also going to talk more about some of the great people who have made the Augusta Futurity what it is. Stay tuned, everybody. There's more. We're coming back.
If I had to do it again, I wouldn't think twice and recommend it to a lot of my friends.
I would reach out and I don't have them in, and I can still see, and it was wonderful, and I love it.
Call Augusta Eye Center to see if you're a candidate for RK, an office procedure that could reduce or eliminate your dependence on glasses or contact lenses for nearsightedness. For a free screening and consultation, call Augusta Eye Center at 738-3321. We want you to see the difference.
I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
If your chances of getting into the Olympic Games aren't looking so good, try playing Olympic Gold from the Georgia Lottery. You could instantly win pairs of tickets to Centennial Olympic Gold Medal and preliminary events, or up to $50,000. So play Olympic Gold, and who knows where you'll wind up.
The Dodge Magnum Power Surge. It's your chance to get up to $3,000 in savings and values on the Magnum Power Dakota Club Cab. It's your chance to save on the truck that beats Ranger, S10, and Sonoma on resale, and a whole lot more. But to get Magnum Power and Magnum Savings, you'll have to move like, well, you know. America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
I told you should have gone to Belvedere Marine.
At Team Belvedere Marine, we'll get you the best price on a Blazer boat equipped with the Johnson outboard of your choice.
Blazer and Johnson, just two of the fine products at Belvedere Marine, 944 Atomic Road in North Augusta. Call 278-3933 today.
Join Team Belvedere Marine and be part of the fun.
It's a Channel 12 Sports exclusive, the 17th annual Augusta Futurity, just over. One of the men that electrified this crowd this evening here at the Civic Center was Guy Woods aboard Laker Dock. He really showed us how great the sport can be for horse and rider, and Guy, at the same time, you showed us how tough it can be for horse and rider. Tell me about your run. You were on your way to dazzling this crowd, perhaps toward a first-place finish. You lost the second cow. Tell me about the run.
Well, we started out, had a good little first cow, and everything was busy and nice.
What a show Laker Dock was putting on.
He can really get down the ground. He traps the cow really well. This second cow right here, I thought I was in total control. Everything's sitting pretty. Then all of a sudden it just decided it was going to the herd, and that was all she wrote. We couldn't stop it. I ran it all the way to the wall, and it just decided it had enough. And they're the brakes. That's what happens in cutting.
What were you thinking at this time? You're in control, but then you see the cow bolt.
I was just hoping that it would turn away when I got to the wall, but you can see right there, it sure didn't.
And what goes through your mind? Yes, it's a part of the game, but my goodness, this is the open finals.
Oh, it's easy to get depressed, but you get over it. You know, in this sport, that happens quite often, so you learn to live with it. You never like it, but you sure learn to live with it.
And you'll be back next time, won't you?
You bet. Sure will.
Guy Woods, he lives north of Dallas in Pilot Point, Texas, and we thank you for coming by on what has to be a tough night.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Guy Woods aboard Laker Dock. Didn't have to come over and talk to us and take a look at the painful second cow, but he did, and we appreciate it, and he will indeed be back to Augusta. Paul?
Thank you very much, Ted. What a bang-up job you're doing tonight. Guy Woods, born in Australia, one of my favorites. We've been talking all night about how he's got his horses doing all this, and I really appreciate the effort. And Laker Dock will be back in the years ahead. We're talking about somebody, Tony, that we didn't see tonight. And a year ago, her name was big. She was a champion last year. Talking about Helen Groves from Baird, Texas, and I had a chance to meet Helen earlier in the week. And as I've been saying all week, if they had a Hall of Fame, she would own the thing. Here now is that story on Helen Groves.
Baird, Texas's Helen Groves is older than dirt. At 66, she's this year's oldest rider in the Futurity field. But don't let her age fool you. This little lady won the Classic non-pro title in '95. A run of bad luck this year kept her from defending. It's the unpredictability that keeps her coming back for more.
It's a constant challenge. You can have the best horse in the world. Like just now, I had a horse that was just ready to really perform great. I was first in the bunch, which I had the full choice of cattle. I thought I had a good cow selected, and she turned out to be crazy as a March hare and was gone.
What's incredible about Helen is that she's allergic to her favorite sport's two key variables, horses and cattle. A variety of medications keep things in check. Heck, it sounds like even if she weren't up to competing, she'd still come back east.
Oh, well, Augusta is most hospitable city to cutters that I know. It's probably hospitable to other people, too. And everywhere we go, for instance, I went in a little cafe way up Broad Street yesterday, and on the blackboard they had welcome cutters and had some flowers drawn on it. And you're just made to feel very welcome here.
The Augusta Futurity's come a long way in 17 years, thanks to founding fathers and mothers with a vision that was on target from the get-go.
I was one of the founding directors of this show, and I'm a past president. The first year, I think we did a lot of things that really weren't too good, but we all had fun.
Fun, that's what cutting is supposed to be all about in the first place. Take it from a champion, the Lone Star State's Helen Groves.
I just for the life of me can't imagine, Tony, how you can be allergic to cows, allergic to horses, and be a star.
That's unusual. As long as I've known Helen, that's the first time that I've found out about that.
That's my job.
Yeah.
And
a great job, I guess.
To dig into these stories and get people to talk. She mentioned that she found some revolutionary medication here in Augusta a year ago, and it's helped her immensely. I'm going to take care of some house cleaning here. I want to mention and thank the folks from Boots and Britches who provided me with much of my attire tonight. This is not normally in my wardrobe, but it should be in the near future. Also, the folks at Circle Ranch Wear who helped us out tonight, and the entire Channel 12 crew was no excuse not to do a good job tonight because everybody was fed well. The folks at Subway Broad Street have provided us with 4,000 no, not 4,000, but plenty of subs to take care of the crew. We've had a lot of help this week from Channel 12, the news department, on various stories to report on from the 17th Futurity. It's been a big night for folks. We were talking about fashion. Big night for folks getting into the pocketbook and picking up some things that they can take home and wear and show off around the neighborhood. Here now is Peggy O'Leary with a story of some of the things you may have missed here this week.
How much does a boot like this run?
About $700.
$700. Now how much does a buckle like this run? $35. $35. What do you think?
From boots to buckles, the 1996 Augusta Futurity show has it all for a price.
How much does a jacket like this run?
$377.
$377.
And you can't forget hats.
They start at $145 and they go up to $695.
Now that might seem steep, but these goods go.
We've been coming to this show for several years. People in Augusta have always been good to us.
Now this guy seems to have the complete look.
That's a pretty snazzy getup. You wear that every day?
Just to teach futurities and rodeos.
Let's see if I can find a pair of chaps like that.
These chaps are run about $165, but they sure are pretty.
But it's not just clothing. Here at Futurity 96, you can strike gold.
So we get a lot of local people out to shop, and of course the horse jewelry sells real well here.
Big money?
Big money.
Big money. I'm telling you, one of these days, before next year's telecast, Tony, I promise that I'm going to get myself, I've wanted a pair of Spurs. Ever since I was a kid watching the Wild Wild West with Robert Conrad on television, I got to get me some Spurs. I know you got some. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still not done. We've got more to talk about, so stay tuned. Channel 12, a sports exclusive. We're proud to have it. The Futurity. We'll be back in a moment.
For most of us, there's an easier way to get into the Olympic Games. It's Olympic Gold from the Georgia Lottery. You could instantly win pairs of tickets to Centennial, Olympic Gold Medal, and preliminary events, or up to $50,000. So play Olympic Gold. Or take your chances.
My mom buys all her cars from Mr. Ladd's, doesn't she, Anna?
Yeah.
We love her car, don't we, Anna?
Yeah.
It's pretty and it goes fast, too.
Yeah.
We drive to school every day in a Ladd brick car, and we love it. But if I had my choice, I'd go for this Jeep.
Yeah, but when I grow up, Ladd's gonna find me a Rolls Royce.
Ladd Brick Automobiles!
At Olin Corporation, the employees take the safety of their community seriously. As we approach the 21st century, Olin is pledged to help preserve our environment and the quality of life through their many community interest programs. Olin's employees are our neighbors and friends who are actively involved in recreational programs for our youth, financial support of the MCG Children's Medical Center, and their association with the Chemical Manufacturers Association to assure protection of our environment. Olin Corporation, celebrating 31 years of responsible operation in Augusta.
Let's compare the prices of 3 of the best sport utility vehicles and see what happens when they all come equipped with features like V6, automatic, anti-lock brakes, air, leather, cassette stereo. Now, isn't that interesting? Because when all is said and done, Blazer costs over $2,200 less than Explorer and nearly $5,000 less than Grand Cherokee. Kind of changes your perspective, huh? And with the Blazer, you also get Chevy's exclusive driver control system for the same low price. See your Georgia line of Chevy dealers today.
Welcome back to the Civic Center. We are wrapping up a 17th annual Futurity, and it's a good thing I've got Tony with me tonight because let's stay with the graphic. And Tony, I think there's been a little bit of adjusting by the judges, huh? We see Plate Gun in first place.
Right. The winner remained the same, but the reserve champion was flashing some cash, owned by Nick Arizmendi from California and ridden by Julie Roddy. That would move Smart Play Lena obviously owned by me, which I'm pretty pleased about, ridden by Troy Riddle to third place. So the reserve champion was flashing some cash, and the champion this evening, Play Gun, doing double duty. That's making history here tonight.
And then we'll show you earlier tonight the Futurity non-pro. Again, both of these categories tonight, 4-year-old horses, but in the first batch of folks to perform, non-professional riders. And what do you notice, though? Different rider, same result in the first place position. Play Gun makes Augusta Futurity history, winning both the Open and the non-pro. In the non-pro earlier tonight, a 2:22.5 with Dick Pieper, and then you see second Gina Badger, Little Bitty Angel was third, and Bear Trap Olina was fourth. I want to thank everybody back at Channel 12 who helped make tonight's broadcast another, I think, a smashing success. Charles Moody, Gwen McGrady, our producer, Anne Marie Rigoni back at the television station, and Pam Conagizer, and a host of other folks who again have gone above and beyond the call of duty. I'm Paul Davis for Tel Alexander and Tony Langton. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a great Futurity, everybody. We'll see you again next year.
Bill Riddle riding VR Hold Everything.
Channel 12's live coverage of the 1996 Cutting Horse Futurity was sponsored by the Olin Corporation, Thompson Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle, and the Georgia Lottery. This has been a presentation of Channel 12 Sports.
It doesn't take long for this to turn into this.
The threat is diminishing now for tornadoes from this first line.
That's why people depend on Channel 12's Bob Smith.
The latest Doppler radar out of Columbia shows
Bob Smith, Augusta's most experienced, most accurate forecaster, leading the CSRA's most accomplished team of weather specialists. Bob Smith, weeknights at 5, 6, and 11, only on 12.
Picture you and your family in your very own Fleetwood Dream Home for less than you're paying for rent. America's largest home builder, Fleetwood Homes. The sign of quality, value, and customer satisfaction. Discover the reason why 9 out of 10 buyers have named Fleetwood Homes the customer's choice. You can own your very own dream home from Fleetwood Homes for less than you're paying for rent. Look for the signs you can trust at America's largest home builder, Fleetwood Homes. The only places you can see your new Fleetwood Dream Home.
The 95 Integra closeout is going on now at Acura of Augusta. Choose from more than 40 Integras with 0 down.